So for your risotto, everyone is going to add 1 onion. So you're going to bridge hold over the top, from the top all the way through to the root, cut down the middle, so exactly like you have before, and we will brunoise our onion. So you're going to peel off the outer skin, and then we'll cut away from the root like we have done before. This skin will come off. Much easier to peel an onion once you've cut it in half rather than before you've started. So make sure you cut it in half first. There you go. Then we're going to keep our root intact, so this bit here, and we're going to cut off the top. We're then going to cut away from the root, so using now my claw grip. Going to switch back to a bridge hold. So I'm cutting away from the root, but all the way through my onion, so it's cut but it's all still connected at the bottom. Then I'm going to cut in the opposite direction towards my root, so I get really nice small pieces of brunoise onion. You want to use both halves of your onion so that you've got an entire onion in your risotto. Remember, when it gets too close to the root, just cut around it as safely as you can to maximise the amount of onion. Throw that bit away. So once you have sliced up your onion, you're going to need 2 garlic cloves. I'm cheating, I've already got garlic with the skin off, but obviously take the skin off of yours first. Then we're going to crush them straight into your frying pan where I've already put my onion. So 2 garlics. And then the next stage is entirely up to you for what vegetables you chose to put inside your risotto. So I've got a pepper, I'm just using what's in my fridge, so I've got a pepper here, and I've got some other onions, I've got some spring onions. So to prepare my pepper, I'm going to slice off the base, slice off the top. Obviously you may not be using a pepper, I'm just going to show you it as a demonstration, so feel free to skip if you're not using a pepper. Slice down the side, open it up. Take the seeds out. Now I'm going to slice nice batons or juliennes if they're a bit thinner of pepper, and then I'm going to place these together and cut them into nice macedon cubes or rough cubes. So I'm going to slice all of my pepper and add that into the frying pan with my onion and my garlic. So for my second vegetable, I'm just using, like I said, spring onions that I've got in the fridge. I've already peeled off the outer layer because that's the one that contains the soil. Just going to cut off the bottoms, and then I'm just going to slice them, probably more chiffonade than any other style, just roughly slice them all the way down. But obviously you're going to be using whichever vegetables you've got in your fridge, so it can consist of whatever you like. And they're just going to be, the most important thing is just to cut them finely into quite small bits. With a risotto, you don't want massive chunks of vegetable. They want to be quite fine once we've finished the risotto, so you get a taste of all of your vegetables when you eat your risotto at the end. So once you finish slicing your vegetables, they go into your frying pan with your onion and your garlic and your other vegetables so far. So I'm going to stop when I get near the ends. And then we're going to add either a tablespoon of butter or a tablespoon of oil. Entirely up to you which one. I'm going for a tablespoon of butter just because I think it adds a bit more flavour. And then we're going to fry off our vegetables until they're nice and soft and golden brown. So if you've been frying your vegetables for a good probably 7 or 8 minutes, they should be starting to go a nice golden brown colour, or the onions caramelising. At this stage you can add your 200 grams of rice and give it a really good stir. Get that rice completely coated by the oil or the butter that you've been using in the pan, like the fat. So it's really soaking up some of those flavours. Give it a really nice stir, make sure it's all fully incorporated for a good minute. Make sure it's not burning, so keep moving it. So still the same medium heat. And then once you're sure that all of that rice is fully coated by your fat and it's really well distributed, you can add your stock. You want to start by adding about half of the stock. So it looks a little bit soupy at this stage, but that's fine. You can start doing some of your washing up, and you can leave that for a good 5 or 6 minutes for the rice to start to absorb the liquid, and obviously then it will start to form the process of gelatinization because your rice is a starch. So after 5 to 10 minutes, when you come back, if you move your risotto, if you can see the pan at the bottom like this, it means you need to add more stock. So add it again, probably about half of what was left, and then again leave it for 5 or 6 minutes to just soak up again. You need to keep an eye on your risotto, because if you don't, when I just moved it now, I can't see the bottom of my pan, which means I've got enough stock. But where I moved it before and the pan showed through, that means there's not enough stock in there, and your rice will start to stick and then burn to the bottom of your pan. So as long as there's stock in there, you don't need to move it all the time. But if I pull it back and I can see pan, not stock, then you're going to need to add more stock to ensure that your rice does not burn to the bottom of the pan. How long it takes for your risotto to cook entirely depends on the type of rice that you've used. So have a look at the packet instructions, the packet of rice. Some rice takes 10 minutes, some 20 minutes, some 30 minutes, some 40 minutes. So have a look so you've got an indicator of how long it's going to take for your risotto to cook. So another 5 or 6 minutes later, as you can see, you're going to need to add some more stock. So I'm adding my final lot of stock. It's a possibility your risotto may not even need all of your stock. It may be that in another 5 or 6 minutes my rice is still not cooked, and I may need to add some boiling water because I've just used up the rest of my stock. So it's entirely up to you and entirely up to your rice how much stock you'll need, or whether you need all of your stock, and then you may just need to use some hot water. Now leave that for another 5-10 minutes and then check it. If you think your risotto is done, then you can grab yourself a spoon and give it a taste. Obviously your rice should be what we call al dente, so not hard and not soft, somewhere in between, and it should be nice and fluffy. As you can see, my rice here has still got a little while to go yet. So you know your risotto is cooked when at the end you've got none of your stock left, or no stock left, and your rice should be much fluffier. You can see already how much fluffier my risotto is, and therefore you are ready to serve. You could sprinkle a little bit of cheese over the top. I've gone for Parmesan, but entirely up to you whether you add cheese or not.